The boxing world is buzzing, and the countdown to one of the biggest clashes in modern history has already begun. Forget the usual hype, forget the predictable pre-fight chatter, because what's unfolding right now is far more explosive. Alexander Usyk, the undefeated heavyweight king, didn't just give a polite nod of respect, he openly crowned Terence "Bud" Crawford as the #1 fighter on the planet. That wasn't casual admiration, it was a shot across the bow directed at Canelo Alvarez. Usyk, a man who has conquered giants in the heavyweight division, is saying loud and clear that Crawford is not ordinary, he's lethal. His message to the boxing world: this isn't a fight about size. It's about brilliance, and Crawford has it in spades. Think about that for a moment. Usyk himself, the man who dismantled Anthony Joshua not once but twice, who has carried the weight of the heavyweight throne on his back, is saying Crawford stands above everyone. That kind of praise isn't tossed around lightly. It's a direct warning to Canelo that he isn't walking into a normal challenge. He's stepping into the ring with a fighter whose ruthless precision, killer instinct, and unmatched boxing IQ make him a nightmare for anyone, no matter how big or powerful they are. And then you hear it directly from Usyk's mouth. He's asked who he believes is the best fighter in the world right now, and without hesitation, he says Terence Crawford. Journalists push back, suggesting maybe it's him, maybe the heavyweight king himself should hold that crown. But Usyk waves it off. No, he says with a calm certainty. Crawford is #1. That's not a throwaway line. That's a heavyweight champion acknowledging that pound-for-pound greatness has nothing to do with who weighs more or who carries more muscle. It's about who can break you down piece by piece in the most unforgiving sport on earth. Eddie Hearn, one of the most powerful promoters in the game, doesn't sugarcoat it either. He warns that this is danger territory for Canelo. Losing to a smaller man like Crawford could rattle his entire aura. Hearn puts it bluntly, Crawford isn't just a dangerous opponent. He's the kind of opponent who can expose flaws you didn't even know existed. His impeccable timing, his ability to counter with surgical precision, and his boxing IQ make him a nightmare matchup. Canelo might be an all-time great, but against Crawford, greatness alone won't be enough. When Hearn is asked if a loss would hurt Canelo's legacy, he doesn't hesitate. Canelo is already a 4-division champion, already stamped as one of the greats. But he admits something crucial: this might be the wrong fight for him. Because while the money was too big to ignore, losing to someone moving up from 147 and 154 pounds makes the risk enormous. Canelo's legacy might survive the loss, but the perception of invincibility, the aura he's built by dominating so many divisions, could take a serious hit. Even Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, weighs in. Fury respects both fighters, but the way he speaks reveals something deeper. Belief is what decides destiny. And right now, Crawford's belief in himself is unshakable. Fury hints that Crawford's confidence, combined with his killer instincts and unmatched adaptability, could tilt the entire fight in his favor. To survive this storm, Canelo cannot afford mistakes. He has to be flawless. He has to be better than he's ever been before. Oscar De La Hoya adds his voice, and while he tries to dismiss the idea of Crawford beating Canelo as laughable, his sarcasm only proves one thing: he's underestimating Bud. Oscar points out that Crawford had to go life and death with fighters like Egidijus Kavaliauskas, suggesting if he struggled there, what chance does he have against Canelo? But that's exactly where he misses the point. Crawford moving up in weight isn't a weakness, it's a statement. A statement of fearlessness. He isn't walking in to simply survive. He's daring to dismantle one of the most dominant champions of this generation 2 divisions up with nothing but his brain, his timing, and his cold precision. And then Teddy Atlas, one of boxing's most respected voices, cuts through all the noise. Atlas has never been afraid to say the unpopular thing, and here he calls Crawford special. Not good, not great special. He admits Crawford hasn't always had the elite names on his resume, but Atlas reminds everyone that greatness isn't always about names. It's about ingredients. Either you have it or you don't. Crawford has it. Atlas even dares to suggest that Canelo might be a little overrated, that some cracks exist in the foundation, and Crawford is the fighter with the tools to expose them. Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights to ever step inside the ring, sees it too. He talks about Crawford's preparation, his discipline, and his work rate. Lewis has always believed that preparation wins fights before the opening bell even rings, and in his eyes, Crawford's camp looks like a war machine designed for precision and destruction. If training really does decide who wins, then Canelo could already be 3 rounds behind before the first punch is thrown. Carl Froch takes it even further. He praises Crawford as an unbelievable fighter, a bad boy in the ring, but he also warns that this isn't a one-sided fight. Froch respects what Canelo brings, but his tone makes one thing clear: he believes Crawford has that special edge, that rare quality that separates good fighters from legends. Froch warns that if Canelo thinks brute power will dominate, he's making a dangerous mistake. Because Crawford isn't walking in to trade shots. He's coming to dismantle, to frustrate, and to control. Roy Jones Jr., another legend, offers perhaps the sharpest breakdown. Roy knows what it means to be a once-in-a-lifetime fighter, and he sees the same natural genius in Crawford. He explains that this fight isn't about size or weight, it's about mentality. Crawford's ability to control distance, to set traps, to dismantle styles, makes him dangerous against anyone. But Roy also issues a warning. If Canelo comes in arrogant, if he walks in believing he can just outbox Crawford with ease, then he's done. To win, Canelo must bring back the aggressive, hungry version of himself, the man who once stormed through divisions with fire in his eyes. Anything less, and Crawford's ring IQ will tear him apart. And then there's Crawford's own camp. His trainer, Brian "Bomber" McIntyre, isn't worried about the pressure. While the world sees this as a legacy-defining moment, Team Crawford views it as business as usual. No pressure, no nerves, just execution. Bomber makes it clear they've been preparing for this fight like they do every other one, with the same cold calculation and laser focus. That kind of calmness, that kind of composure should terrify Canelo's camp. Because a fighter who enters the ring without the weight of the world on his shoulders is a fighter who fights free, sharp, and dangerous. Hamza Shiraz, on the other hand, insists that size matters. He believes Canelo's natural frame at 168 pounds is simply too much for Crawford to handle. But in doing so, he overlooks Bud's adaptability. Crawford has built his career on proving people wrong, on dismantling fighters who thought size or power would be enough. Against Canelo, Bud won't be looking to trade power shots. He'll be looking to frustrate, to neutralize, and to turn Canelo's strengths into weaknesses. Size matters, yes, but only if you can use it. Crawford's ring IQ might just make that size advantage irrelevant. And then there's Crawford himself. When he speaks, it's with a calm certainty that sends chills down your spine. There's no trash talk, no hype, just a promise. He knows Canelo is dangerous. He respects the challenge, but Crawford makes it clear he isn't stepping into the ring to participate. He's stepping in to dominate. His preparation has been surgical. Endless sparring rounds, endless film study, countless hours building traps specifically designed to exploit Canelo's habits. He plans to frustrate Canelo, force him into mistakes, and drown him in tactical pressure until the Mexican superstar finds himself in a fight he can't win. Roy Jones adds a twist when he says fans expecting a size mismatch are in for a shock. This fight won't be what people think. Canelo isn't guaranteed to steamroll just because he's the bigger man. Crawford isn't entering as the underdog. He's entering as the sharper weapon. Brute force only works if the other man allows it. Against a fighter with Crawford's versatility, brute force could become useless. The stage is now set. The boxing world is holding its breath as Terence "Bud" Crawford and Canelo Alvarez prepare to collide in a battle that will define an era. This isn't about belts, though there are plenty on the line. This is about legacy, pride, and supremacy. Crawford, the master technician with ice-cold precision and unmatched adaptability, dares to climb 2 weight classes in search of greatness. On the other side stands Canelo, the Mexican powerhouse, armed with destructive body shots, thunderous counters, and years of championship experience. It's calculated genius versus controlled aggression. It's surgical precision against brute strength. It's a battle for the throne of the pound-for-pound king. If Crawford wins, he doesn't just beat Canelo, he carves his name into history as the undisputed #1 fighter of this generation. If Canelo prevails, his legacy ascends even higher, untouchable among the all-time greats. The stakes have never been higher. The tension has never been thicker. This is more than just a fight, it's a generational moment. And soon, the world will watch history being written. So the only question left is, whose side are you on? Are you backing Bud's brilliance or betting on Canelo's power? Because when the bell rings, there will be no excuses, no hiding, no second chances. Two men will walk into the ring, but only one will walk out with the crown. This isn't just the fight of the year. This is the fight of the decade.